Ladies and gentlethems, welcome to another episode of the Jaking Off Show. So I'm cold in the house and I'm in the house cold. If you're not listening to the podcast and you're just watching my face make noises through the noise hole, I'm wearing a beanie, I'm wearing a jacket, I'm layered up in my own house, and I'm in the house cold because we're spending minimal amounts of money on the last electric bill and all that because I want to make the most out of my deposit. Do you feel me? I want to make the most out of my deposit. In case you didn't notice, I am getting the fuck out of here. By the time this episode comes out, I will be having my 2 weeks notice on the state of Oklahoma. I am I'm throwing things out. I'm giving stuff to my cousin. I'm throwing things out. I'm selling a couple things. I am making it look like I was never here. Bought some bleach, cleaned out the tub, took all the hair out of the drain, and cleaned the tiles and all that. I am just making it look like I was never fucking here in the first place. I took down my tapestries, my weed burlap sack, my Iron Maiden shit. This is staying up here. The logo is staying up here. If you're watching, you know, the logo that you see all the time on the Jaking Off Show. But if you're just listening on Spotify, hit that review button, hit that rate button, give it 5 stars or give it 1. I don't give a fuck. You're not going to do it anyway because not enough of you are supporting the algorithm to get the word out there. But look, I'm inherently not very interesting. I'm just a fucking guy that talks into the void, and the void sometimes talks back. Ooh, dangerous. Sipping on the kombucha, trying to be healthy, trying to balance out my micro gut biome because I got fucking problems down there. I've taken, the Metamucil and all that other stuff to help regulate me, and all I eat is bananas. All I eat is bananas and fucking ramen noodles. I've still tricked my brain into thinking that I'm broke. And I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I am fake broke. Fake broke. Excuse me, in case you don't know what that means. Fake broke is that, look, dude, I got money. I'm good. Honestly, I'm good. I'm chilling. But my college brain, which is like 10 years old, hasn't developed at all. Just college brain, get drunk, get fucked up, eat noodles. When I was in college, I spent like maybe $100 a month on groceries. I did not eat well, and I've gotten used to that, and I've psyched myself out into thinking that, hey, you are still poor. Intermittent fast, eat once a day. Fancy poor, be fancy poor. You got, ramen with a couple of eggs, put some salt and pepper on that shit, and that's good eating. That is good broke boy eating. I'm telling you, I have been exhausting just a little bit more of my apocalypse fund to get out of here and do all that because I don't have a purpose here anymore. There is no room to grow anymore in Oklahoma. There is no reason for me to be here anymore. I could have, gotten some kind of temp job over the last couple of months here, but I decided to not do that because this is probably the only time in my life where I've spent probably the most time doing nothing with the Italian hands. Nothing. I've been morbidly depressed. That the dent in my mattress has it's the body dent that I've pressed into my mattress has matched how I sleep, and I gotta like flip the mattress over and like shake it out and stuff. And oh god, I am dripping from the nose. Dripping from the nose. Hold that thought. Now you see, the weather has made me quite irritable. The rapid drop in temperature here has made me even more reclusive and more moody. I get tense in the cold. Now, I've said in the past that winter is great. I've said that. Winter is not great. It's not great. See, ever since I got sick, I have been way less prone to going out and having a good time. Now, when I was healthy, I abused that by drinking copious amounts of alcohol and spending pretty much all of my tip money on booze, drugs, just weed, nothing hard, but like, fast food and junk, and just the stress of living with the compulsive hoarder that I was living with when I was last in LA, and now we've come to a clean slate. Well, not really a clean slate, but we're starting over again. Now, I do have an address. The problem with moving is that a lot of these places, a lot of the leads I have got over the past month or so, they want you to move in right away. And they want to see pay stubs. They want to see some paperwork. They want to look at your credit and da-da-da. My credit's fine. My credit's like okay. But I currently do not have any income right now in the state of California. And I currently don't have a fucking address. So a lot of these people, they want an ASAP move-in right away. A lot of people are leaving. And so I'll find something very quickly. But it's what it's looking like right now is that I'm probably going to take most of my things and put them in a storage unit and then crash on my mom's couch and find a job and an address. And like for shits and giggles, we'll keep the storage unit because I will buy things and collect things. That's what people do. They buy stuff. My couch, it's gone. My privacy divider that's way over here, it's gonna fit in the car, but the other one was right here to my left. That's gone. That's with my cousin now. It's got better use over there. But I can only fit so much in my 2007 Nissan Versa that I'm just gonna haul ass across the desert, make a pit stop in New Mexico where other family members live. Quite lucky. I am so lucky. I'm so lucky. I have home field advantage in Los Angeles. Whereas, because so many people move there to be stars and shit. People move there to make this fantasy happen, and yet the artist in the back of my mind, the little slut brain, the little artist slut brain in the back of my mind is like, oh, you're gonna get a Netflix special. Oh, you're gonna do comedy and you're gonna act and stuff and bleh, and just no. It's likely not going to happen, but it's all I've got left to hope for. I've tried everything else. I've been in a band. I did the acting game stuff. Production was, I did that. And I got depressed for several years. Still am. Still, it's a whole other thing. And then I wake up one day and I go work at my frozen yogurt store that I was shift leading at, and my mentor comes in, who is now my mentor, someone that I met a long time ago, says like, hey, are you still doing comedy? I'm like, no, I gave up on that. I'm like, she's like, no, why? You're funny. And I'm like, really? And and here we are. We are now at year 3 of doing comedy, I suppose. I've been kind of hitting the brakes on it a little bit just because my mind hasn't been in the right place. I haven't really found myself any incentive or motivation to try new stuff. Like, I have my 15 minutes. I have like what I have to develop and sharpen and get better at. And there's just more stuff that comes from life. I'm getting a little bit warmer on crowd work. If you're a Patreon homie, which you should do that, by the way, you should go to patreon.com/jakingoffshow and give me $1 and watch your boy work. There's the last stand-up set that I recorded on my camera. I did a little bit of crowd work, and it worked out. It worked out. It was cool. It was like, a couple of minutes of a tete-a-tete, or however you say it, with some people. And I'm a very nervous person. I'm a very I see what I do when I do my stand up. I look out into the crowd. I don't look at people because I'm afraid to make eye contact for long periods of time. Like, I can do it. It's just physically exhausting to do the eye contact and look at people in the face. Like, I remember in like the really early days of the therapy I went through when I was a kid was to focus on like the top of the nose, or like I start looking at people's mouth, or if their teeth are too crooked, I'm like, no, why am I? You look like a snapping turtle. It's just difficult for me to look at people with the big old A word, which I haven't been it's been abrasive of me to talk about that kind of stuff jokingly on stage. Like, I can play it up a little bit, like I can flap it up and cut the lines at the theme parks, but I mean, it's I don't fit in with that camp. I'm the skinny kid at fat camp over there, and I don't fit the description of the autist. Not artist, autist. I'm fucking half retarded. And that's another thing. Oh, you can't say retarded. Come up with something else. Like, okay, yeah, if you're going to be sensitive about it, fine. Like, I'll come up with something else. Special forces? I don't know. You never see... This is the most, like, out there, like, ADHD fucking... I'm just barreling information out. I'm just regurgitating bullshit. You never see autistic people by themselves. Like, they're, like, with a guy. Or they're in a group. I like to call that group the Special Forces. Because one time at work... Just a bunch of fucking, like, cargo pants, Velcro, sandal wearing dudes with, like, a handful of normal adults, or, like, wrangling up all these special needs people. And, like, we're gonna get frozen yogurt! Yay! We're gonna get frozen yogurt! And it's like this fucking thing, like, you're giving these people, like, sugar when that's, like, the last thing they fucking need. But, is it going to be Special Forces? Do I call myself that? Like, I don't know. Am I a member of the Special Forces? Like, no, I'm a private in the Special Forces. I'm like the bottom of the barrel of those rejects. Like, what do you do? Way sidetracked. We've been like way sidetracked. We've got like 5 different subjects going on in my brain at once. I don't write it down, even though I have my notebook right here. We were talking about moving. Yeah, I am getting out of here. I'm going to California. I've started 3 years of comedy now, and we're gonna. I have no other reason to be in Oklahoma. Like, this was an emergency because I moved here in July 2020. The whole fucking planet was locked down, and Oklahoma was the first place that's like, what COVID? What's that? That's not even real. What are you talking about? Like, it's like they never really closed down. They were closed down for like a week. Called my cousin up and be like, hey, you guys locked down? No. Why? I'm like, well, there's not a lot of people here. There's just not a lot of people. And the traffic has been so adorable. Oh, I'm going to miss it. I'm gonna miss it a little bit. I'm gonna miss the light traffic. I'm gonna miss the lack of a vaccine mandate. Even though I'm vaccinated and all that stuff, like it's just the mandate that bothers me. And I'm gonna be going to a state where it's, mask up, and then like that's a weird hill to die on, right? Like people, like I've been falling down this rabbit hole of Karen public freakouts of like of white women walking into like a coffee shop without a mask, and the employees walk up to the woman like, "Hey, you have to wear a mask. It's company policy." Blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, "But I have asthma. My rights." Wait. Like that's just such a weird hill to die on, dude. Like there's Karens on both sides of the mask debate. And I don't care. Put your mask on. You're a murderer. Okay. Take your mask off. You're a pussy. Okay. Don't need it. Don't need it, but I got that thing on me in case you feel uncomfortable about the thing. And plus, I'm a 4 at best. And here's another thing about the masks. I have this little taint tickler on the bottom of my chin, and I'm not married to it, but I would like to keep it. I like the look, I've got like this sort of handlebar mustache coming in now, and whatever job I find, like if I have to take a step backwards and go back into customer service, I ideally want to look for a production or like dispensary work, or hustle my own shit and really try again with the voiceover stuff. May or may not have an angle on narrating audiobooks, but that might be like passive income on the side. I don't know. There's a lot of possible solutions, and I'm kind of just going everywhere at once, flooding, but not really doing anything about it, because I have a lot of ideas and I have a lot of plans, but they're just kind of floating around because I'm not sticking to one thing. I'm really scatterbrained. I'm napping too much, and I'm just really fucking scatterbrained, and it's been a long journey so far, and I still have such a long way to go. And if I don't want to cause any shit, I don't want to cause any fucking trouble. LA is actually worse off than when I left it, but like it's home, man. It's home, and I'm so lucky to have home field advantage, like I mentioned earlier. I'm probably gonna crash on my mom's couch for a little bit. I'll give her some money for the space, and her place. It's not a storage unit. I can't just have my TV and my printer and my mattress and like my desk and all that shit. She lives in a guest house with my brother, and there's all of his stuff, and it's not going to work. So that's why we're going to put my things in a storage unit and just leave it there. I'll crash on my couch. I'll find something super quickly, and we'll move on with my life. And I'm still spending as minimal as possible. I still have a lot of apocalypse money left over, and we'll figure it out. It's going to work out. I might do DoorDash or Postmates or something as like the quickest solution. I'm going to go for quick solutions on this, because there's too many freaking people in LA. And I have a friend who can possibly hook me up with a slightly better car. I might trade it in, because the car I've got right now has got a lot of miles on it, and it'll get me to California. It's been serviced. Some of the things that were wrong with it have been fixed. She's all oiled up. She's ready to go. The odometer's fixed now. The spark plugs are good. There's there's other things that are wrong with it, but if it'll just make it to California, and then we'll go from there. Now, the male brain is like, oh, I'll figure it out. But that's really just the shorthand explanation of, I actually don't know what I'm doing, and I'm flying by the seat of my pants. But it has to work out. My destiny is to entertain others and make people laugh. That is my destiny. That's been very clear in my head. There's just been too many signs. And look, I'm going to make this about me, but when I haven't addressed this yet on this podcast, but I talked to the homegirl Christy Bellich about it. We did an emergency episode about the passing of Bob Saget, and that hurt. That really hurt. It's been a couple of weeks since. It's been about a week since that, and it just came out of nowhere because Bob was because I took, for those of you who don't know, I did the comedy camp course at the Laugh Factory when I was 14, and Bob Saget was one of the guest comedians that came in and taught the basics of comedy, and I called my very close friend who was with me during that comedy course, and I told him, like, hey, dude, Bob Saget died. Like, fuck, this sucks. Like, can we talk about it a little bit? And like, yeah, we can talk about it a little bit. And we talked about it. I got all emotional and shit. And he recalled that Bob had complimented a joke that I made. And I wish I remembered what the joke was. I was 14. I never kept the notebook that I had at the time because I did it for a little bit when I was like 14, 15, 16, just kind of once a week going to the Sportsman's Lodge on Thursday nights and Saturday nights and just kind of like, do comedy as like, sort of a performance art / hobby kind of like, and also getting me out of trouble. I did theater in high school. I ran cross country and track. I was very occupied because if I wasn't occupied, I'd be setting trash cans on fire, getting into fights, being a bad kid. The thing is, I got in trouble, but I didn't get caught. White privilege. But anyway, Bob Saget dies, and that hurts. It struck a chord with me. I texted my mentor, breaking the news, and she already knew, and it's like, oh, it was really sad, and it was just it was a reminder to me that I was really glad to have met him and worked with him that brief time that I did, because he was a really early influence on me, because Bob Saget says fucked up shit for the sake of saying fucked up shit. And that's how I work sometimes, like not necessarily on stage, but I just say fucked up shit in life. I'm just like that. It's a coping mechanism. It's how I deal with things. It's how I deal with like bad situations in my life. I'm like the gallows humor. Like I just say like fucked up shit when shit is wrong. You could be in the moment of something going wrong, and I will immediately make I'll crack a joke about it. But when he died, I had nothing. My coping mechanism was not there for me, and I was very sad. And I told her like, hey, I'm really glad that I bumped into you. I told my mentor I'm really glad that we bumped into each other at the Froyo place when we did, because I was just working a job just to pay my bills and all that stuff, not really having any sort of goal or anything like that, just working and playing video games and trudging through life, dealing with my colitis and like going like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself, and like I don't know what to do with my life. And she comes in and she's like, you got to keep doing this. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll give it a shot. And here I am, 3 years later, still at it. But like, the goal is to just get good and entertain, and that makes me happy. The goal is happiness here, and I have nothing else going on, so I might as well do whatever I want, because we're all dead in like 15, 20 years, or we're gonna like inject our subconscious into the metaverse, or we're going to like go to space, or the planet's going to blow up, or, it's going to be too fucking hot for the surface to live on. Like, it's just not looking good for the future. We're in 2022. It's deuces wild, and it's just fucking over, dude. It's over. We tried. We had a good run. I don't think we have a whole lot longer, so I might as well do what I enjoy. And I haven't been doing what I enjoy just because, I haven't really, because I have a goal in mind when I go on stage. Like there's networking and all that, but my destiny is not here. My fate is not here. It's back home. And whether or not I make it, that's not the point. Because I just want to be, I want to be a comic. in my hometown, which happens to be Mecca, LA. It happens to be like, who can fucking say that they're from LA? Hardly anyone, really. And people who do talk about being from LA, they left. Or the soldiers that stuck around. There's some comics I know that are from LA that are still being soldiers over there, and they didn't go AWOL, they didn't leave like I did. But I'm coming back, and it's full of people who are fake and plastic, and they actually give it a bad rep. There's actually, the people that I grew up around are like hard workers. We eat shitty food just like every other state. Most of my friends are Hispanic and Armenian. We're busy all the time. We drive around, we go to fucking In-N-Out. We're just like everybody else, normal people or whatever. But there's this hustle that I've been missing out on, and it's back now. It's not locked up anymore. I left because it was locked up. I couldn't do anything, and I was just stuck, paying rent for a place. I couldn't go anywhere. I was making more money doing nothing. I had no purpose in life, and I left. I left, and I felt bad about it for a long time. And I haven't been giving Oklahoma enough credit because I've frankly been shitting on it this whole time. But I am very thankful for the stage time that the scene out here has given me, because this has been the most trying times of my life so far. Because I left, this put a huge stint in my life, and I decided to, okay, we're just going to do comedy somewhere fucking else. And it happened to be here. It happened to be in OKC. And I'm very glad that for the stage time I got, and now the scene out here has grown exponentially. I'm very happy, and I'm very proud of all of the comedians out here that are making moves, that are putting on shows, that are booking shows, and that are, they're booking shows in the neighboring states, Texas, Missouri, Colorado. Barely Colorado's a neighbor, but there's a lot of hardworking people out here, and I'm gonna have my roast material when I go back to LA, because it's people make fun of Republicans and all that, and it's all like, most of this place is like anti-vax or whatever, but it's just jokes, right? I'm very happy that I came here. My only regrets really is not networking enough, and not building friendships because of how I am. And I'm very individualist. I've been called a purist. Christy called me a purist. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to knock that, because I go up, I say my shit. Sometimes I'll watch the whole show. Sometimes I'll dip depending on my mood, but I don't hang out. I just don't, because I walk this fine tightrope, because some people want to hang out with you because there's something to gain. I don't want to be that person. I just want to be people's friends. I want to, because what I do is that I set up my equipment, and I give people that haven't been doing it as long as I have for advice. I give people advice when they ask for it. I've offered to record people's sets for a very fair price. I feel like I've left a pretty good stamp on here, because I'm seeing more and more comedians recording their sets, putting those little gold nuggets, those little 30-second gold nuggets on their social media and all that. They're getting gigs, they're recording their stuff, and you have to have tape. You have to have tape to send, because that's what bookers want. They want tape. Are you funny? Are you good? How much time can you do? Are you a feature act? Are you an MC? What do you got? And more people are recording that, and I'm really glad that I suppose I've left that impression on some, and some people have invested to get better at this thing. And I'm one of those January comics that's just I'm going to record all my sets. I set up my camera and all that shit, and I'm one of those fuckers. Because just audio, that ain't good enough. Because dude, what if you only record audio for a set that you crushed, and the booker wants video? I don't know. It's good to have both. It's good to have both. Depends on where you book, because some places don't want you to record your set. Not naming names, but some clubs are like, you can't put your camera in here, and then you got to resort to the phone. But what are you gonna do? that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But I've taken a stint. I've taken a break. I've had my mind on leaving, and I mean, other than other than cleaning up my stove, then I'm all set to go. I'm all set. I just got to put everything in the car and leave. Turn in my keys, and I'll get my deposit in the mail. I'm probably going to use my mom's address because they're going to send me a check and all that. But this is a weird transitional period for me. I've needed to take this time to just calm down, reset. And yeah, I haven't been as productive as I wanted to. I wish I had done more, and this wouldn't have happened this fast had I not been canned from working at Bricktown. I mentioned that. It wouldn't. I would have left anyway. It's just happening sooner, and I regret that. But lessons learned. I've learned a lot of hard lessons into my sophomore year of stand-up, and now we're at year 3. And this notebook was all year 2, and it's not quite full. A couple pages, empty pages left, but I got another notebook, and that's going to be year 3, and it's a much thicker one, so it might go into 2 more years. But hey, this is kind of the timestamp on where I'm at in my life right now. I'm going to look back on this later and be like, hey, look, I fucking survived Rona, and I moved halfway across the country, and now I'm going to drive all the way back, not knowing what the hell's going to happen next. But look, I got nothing else going on for me here. I can't stay here. And frankly, some of the people that put on shows here are not my friends. We're not going to name names, but there's one person who does like showcases out here, and we've never like even spoken to each other physically. This dude, I was still guaranteed at the open mic at Bricktown, and this guy fucking followed me, and he like ran over to the bartender because I made a COVID joke, and I made a COVID joke when it was announced that the club was going to be down for a week because both operating managers got COVID at the time, and so like we couldn't run the fucking place or do shows or anything. So I walk up on stage and I'm like, hey man, what's up? I got a temperature of 104. I feel fucking great. And this comic was like, oh no. Like, and then he just runs over to the bartender and goes like, he's making a COVID joke. The club and like the word had already gotten out that the place was going to close down. He's like, does he have COVID? Should he even be on stage? I'm a fucking, like, I'm going to freak out and stuff. And the bartender told me who it was, and I messaged him. We are not friends on Facebook, but I looked up I typed in his full name, found him, and messaged him like, dude, calm the fuck down. Calm the fuck down. I'm joking. I'm clearly joking. Everything I say up there is a joke. And I come to find out that this guy books shows or whatever, and he fucking like added me on Facebook, and I'm like, nah, no, you're weird. I don't like you. Like, straight up don't like you, bro. Like, you had a whole fucking episode, and I straight up don't like you. Like, I don't care how much we have in common. I don't care. Like, I do not want to work with this dude. And he puts on, like, shows and shit. So, consider that bridge already burned. If it's not even burned, I'm not even going to fucking cross it. But there's also some very good people that have given me some opportunities out here. And, I'm going to host a show. I'm going to host an open mic in a couple of weeks right before I leave. I'm doing a show at Kendall's one more time before I get out of here. I've kindly requested that Brandon make it a roast show. It might not happen because I don't want to step on any toes. It's his thing ultimately, but like it'd be a nice send off to just like have everybody roast me. Like, dude, roast me. Give me what you got. Like, I make fun of myself, but I want to hear more so I can like steal it for. No, I'm kidding. But because I say like I look like the burglar from Home Alone, and I look like I fucking sell IPAs out of my van and shit. I'm just kidding. I don't have a van, nor do I drink. So whatever. But it would be a nice little send off. Did a couple of podcasts here or there. Did Healy's podcast. that's going to come out whenever it's going to come out. I don't fucking know. And I'm not pressuring him or anything because he said, it's like, oh, you're going to be episode 37 on the Healy cast. I'm like, okay, cool. Awesome. And then like he airs like 2 more episodes like after that. And like, dude, I thought you were going to put me on, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to like step on toes or anything like that, but it's like, you know, I'm just happy to spend my last couple weeks over here just chilling. Like there's not much to do here anyway. Like there's just like, oh, there's the memorial for the bombing that happened. Like, dude, Timothy McVeigh, like had he not bombed that fucking building, nobody would even know that Oklahoma City was a place. Like thanks to white supremacy, Oklahoma City is a place that you can live. Not much to see. But you know, I enjoyed my time here, but it's time to go. And I am going to make a pit stop in Gallup, New Mexico, to crash on my cousin's house for the night because I'm going to break up the trips. I'm going to break up the road because from here to Gallup is like a 12-hour drive, and that's a lot of driving. And you know, I'm probably going to buy some Depends and like shit myself in the car. It's going to smell like a fucking barnyard. But you know, hey, this is the stuff. These are the sacrifices. These are the things that I'm going to go through in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to fill up on gas. You know, every so often, and do I stop and shit in, you know, do I pull over to the side of the road and like shit outside of my car, or do I just keep driving and just shit my pants and keep driving, and you know, I'll take a hose to my ass or something, or you know, once I get to my cousin's place, I'm like, hey, I gotta take a shower like now. But I got a whole fucking Rite Aid in my car. Like I got the wet wipes, I got, you know, extra toilet paper, I got extra underwear, I got an extra pair of pants. You know, I'm all fucking ready for it. I'm fully prepared to get the fuck out of here. And that's going to do it for number 98 of the Jaking Off Show. I'm just here to vent and get my shit out, and I gotta make another plan here because the podcast is not getting the traction that I thought it would get. I mean, I haven't been consistent enough, but I mean, I'm just a fucking open micer. I'm nobody, right? But I'm jotting down other avenues. I haven't written any skits yet. The rants are still going to happen when I get inspired to. You know, there's no deadlines to meet or anything like that. But I gotta do more. And as I get inspired, I gotta give the homies on Patreon a reason to keep donating. And you're gonna see the sets on there. The sets I record, they're gonna go on there. It's as low as $1 a month. Give me a fucking dollar. It gives me strength. It gives me motivation, and we're just gonna keep doing this. The Jaking Off Show. It's not going to be just a podcast. It's going to have we're going to have skits, and the money that gets donated to me gets put away. You know, to invest into ideas like, you know, certain props or hiring talent for a skit or something like that. Like I've been putting that money away, and it's been put away specifically for that, and it's going to take a while, and you got to spend money to make any money, right? But it's gonna, you know, this is a process. This is a process. It's never going to be complete. And if you've been with me so far, if you've been locked in with me so far, I really appreciate that. Homies on Patreon. Again, I'm going to plug that one more time. Patreon.com/JakingOffShow. Holler for $1. There's the bonus content is on there. The Jake Off Sessions. Kind of exclusive podcast, kind of behind the curtain, how the sausage is made. You know, you get early access to the rants whenever they happen. And stand-up sets, of course. Every little bit helps. Really appreciate it. And, okay, thanks. Bye, everybody.